Okay, so let's take a look at the two verses in Little Wing. It's basically the same chord progression that we did in the intro, and you basically go through that chord progression twice, and those are the verses. So let's go ahead and get right into it. When the drums come in after the intro, the easiest way to find it, it starts with this little, another little thing like we did kind of in the intro to start, but you actually have 3 or 4 strings in a bar with your first finger. To know how to time that, as soon as the drums start, do 2 counts of 4. So just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and on the second 4, you hit that little chord cluster, and then you let the open E string hit on the 1. So it goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. Okay, so from there we have it's a trill from the the 4th string open to the 2nd fret back and forth, and he has this open B string in there too. So the way I kind of do it, it might have been a mistake on the recording, but you can just use your 2nd finger and kind of hit that string. Use your your middle finger to pluck that string as you pluck the D, and then just do a quick little trill. And it doesn't last very long. Then he just holds the E and goes down, up, down, up. And really muted, really lightly and muted. And then we're gonna go open 4th string, hammer 2, pull off, and then the same thing on the 5th string. So we go, and then we make it down to the G. You can play that with your 2nd finger this time instead of your thumb. And then we're going to have this little figure on top of it. Basically all that is you're holding your 1st finger at the 2nd fret 3rd string and your 3rd finger at the 3rd fret 2nd string. And you pick the 3rd string, pull that off to 0. Then come back with it, put it back on it, pick both notes now, slide up 2 frets, and slide back down, all in one hit. And then you pull back off to the open G string, and then come back with the 1st finger again and hit both those notes together again. So we have, so that comes from that G. Sorry. Then we come to the A, over the A minor chord. You play this low A on the 5th string, 5th fret 6th string, and then go. That's kind of similar to the intro. We got that bar across the 5th fret with your 1st finger. Play the 9 on the 4th string with that 5 on the 3rd together, just the 2 middle strings, then come down to 7, then the 2 5s, all middle strings, just the 3rd and 4th strings, and then do that 8 5 5 chord, the 8 on the 5th string. Then we go to the 2 5s at the 4th and 5th, hammer onto that 7 on the 5th string, and then do the same thing on these 2 strings, this 3rd and 4th string. So then we have so far. So now we got the open E string, and we do this over it. And that is similar again to the intro. You hit that low E, and then hit that 8, you got the bar across the 7th fret, the 8th fret with your 2nd finger, do a quick hammer pull at the 10 with your pinky on that same 2nd string. And then you hit the 3rd string, 7. And then hold that for a brief moment. 2, and then just pick across the string. very lightly. These dynamics is the best thing about it is the dynamics that he uses. It goes in and out, hits things harder, then makes things really soft. So that's what you want to really try to listen for when you're playing. So we have up, 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 just across that 8, 7, 7, 7, all the way down to the 5th string. Then we have the B. So we're going back to holding this B to the with your thumb, and then you're going to do this little figure on top of it. All right, so let's look at that. We have little, that's all over a B minor chord is where he's doing this, so you can see how you can embellish it. Those little chords. So we have this beat, and then you're going to go 7 with your first finger, 1st string, and then 9th fret, back to 7, then over to the 10 on the 2nd string, then 7 on the 2nd string. So then come down to the 3rd string, pick 7 and do a hammer pull. Hammer on 9, pull off to 7, and then come over and play the 9 on the 4th string. So we have, so that's all over the B minor. Then the next little phrase is over that little changing chord. Remember we had this. So over that A flat chord, we do this, which is the 7th fret, 2nd finger, hammer on 8, pull off back to 7, then hit that 8 on the 4th string. So we have over the B minor then, and then move that back to the 7 to start the obviously the A minor portion of it. So we have, and then do the bar again, set up, and we're going to do this figure, and that is on the 2 middle strings again, the 7 with the 5 here, just like we did earlier, down to the 8, 5, 5, 5, and but this time go, after you play that 8, bring it down to 7 with your 3rd finger on the 5th string, and then kind of do this little hammer on between the 2. You're kind of using the 7 as a grace note into that 7 while you're still hitting these strings. Then we take it down to the G chord over G on the 3rd finger with your thumb. We do that bar. We're back down to that kind of this shape that we did earlier in the intro. Bar the 2 3s with your 1st finger on the 1st and 2nd string, and take your, as soon as you hit this chord, you're going to hit it with the suspended chord first. You're going to have this 3rd finger at the 5th fret, and you're going to hit this. You're going to go. So we got the 5 there, then you release that to the 4 with those 2 top notes, and then you have that 5 on the 4th string. So it goes. All right, then we're to the F chord, and we do that little shift. So that is just basically the same thing as the intro with the 3rd fret, 4th string, the 3rd string open, 1st finger at the 1st fret, 2nd string, and then pinky on the 3rd fret on the 1st string, and you got that low F going on with the thumb on the bass. So first you hit just these 4 strings, and then you come back down, slide up 2 frets, come back down, and then do that. You can just go F to F or get some of the chord in there too, but you kind of want to keep coming back and hitting this F on the 6th string. Then we just go to C major, standard C major chord, and then that same power chord, 5th fret. That's the end of the 1st verse, and then the beginning of the 2nd verse. You just let that open, you do a little slide, let that open string ring, and we have this cool little lick here. So this is over E minor, bar the 12th fret at the 1st and 2nd string. Take that hammer onto the 14th fret on the second string and pull back off to that 12, while still letting this note ring. Then come down and play 14 and 12 on the third string. Try to let that top E ring a little bit. And then come down to the 12 on the fourth string. Do a hammer pull from 15 back to, to 14, back to 12. Then the same thing on the fifth string. Then catch the G chord, and we have this same, that 2 and 3 on the third string on 2, and then the third fret on the second string with the first and third finger, and do this now. And that's just, so pick it, slide up, back down, back up, 2 frets, same chord, and then come back down to the second fret and slide it up 2 frets, and then just pick it down there. So we have pick, slide, back, slide, pick, slide, and then just pick. That one was a little bit quicker there. Then we take it to the A minor chord in the progression. Hold this low A, the 5th fret with the first finger. Then we go, and that is just 7, 5, 7. Then do a quick hammer from 5 to 7 on the fifth string. Then back to 5, and back to 7. Or back to the E minor little progression thingy. That same figure with a little hammer on at the 8 and 10, and back hit the 7 on the middle string. And then lightly be kind of riding this E on the 5th string, 7th fret, and then do a hammer on from 7 to 9 on the 4th string. And then we grabbed our next B minor figure here. Hold this B, low B with your thumb on the 6th string a little while, and then just do this. It's just that 7 and 9, 10 and 7 here, back to 7 and 9, and then 7, 7. And then we have that same 7, 7, and then that same little passing figure that we did in the intro. Then we have this quick little hammer on when we get down to A minor. It goes. So that's just a quick little 5, 5, hammer on the 7 and pull back off on the second string. And then do those on the 2 middle strings, of course, the bar across the 5th fret. 7, back to 9, back to 7, 5, 5, to 8, 5, 5, and then that's still 5, 5 that we have on the 4th and 5th string. Hammer onto the 7th fret, and then do the same thing on the middle 2 strings, the 3rd and 4th, for a while. And then we have the G, the thumb. We have a quick little hammer pull. It's really quick sounding. It's kind of like that. 0, 2, and pull back off the thing. And that is basically that same chord, 5, 3, 5, and then 1st fret. The C major, and then back to that power chord. And then lead into the solo with the harmonics of the 12th fret from about the 4 top string, 4 first strings. Just place your harmonic, and take your tremolo bar and just kind of depress it down, and then we're into the solo.